Welcome to the show, and thanks for checking us out. I'm excited about my guest today because he really hasn't done a lot of interviews that I could find, so it was fun to chat with him and see what he's been up to and talk about some of his old bands he's been a part of. He's really made some great music. He played in Jellyfish, Slash's Snakepit, Imperial Drag, Alice Cooper, Sextus, and his latest project, The Lickerish Quartet, is really amazing. Eric Dover, if you like melodic music, Beatles sound, the Donnie V and Enough's Enough also have a very similar sound, very melodic. I just love this kind of stuff. So check out some of the music that Eric has made, and you'll see why I keep badgering him to tour and do live shows in this interview. And I just really want to see him perform live. So I've never seen any of these songs performed live, and I'd love to hear that music played, especially, you know, even the Lickerish Quartet, his newest one, is amazing. So Eric's a very nice guy, and I really enjoyed our chat. So I hope you enjoyed too. Here it is. Welcome, Eric Dover, to the Chuck Shoot podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chuck. How are you, my friend?
Great. Yeah. I mean, I wanted to reach out and do this interview because I wondered what you're up to. And now I know you're doing this band called the Lickerish Quartet. That's amazing. It's really great stuff.
Wonderful. Thanks. Yeah, we're very happy about it so far. We have one more EP that's coming out in about a month or so, or something like that. A few months.
Okay. And then will you be doing live shows for that eventually?
No, there's probably no chance that we'll ever play live unless it's for a small crowd, probably.
Really?
Like a club or something. Yeah. It's all dodgy. Everything's changed now. So, it's going to be hard to say what happens in the future. I would like to think that we could do something, but we'll have to see how the world readjusts and gets back to normal. And I don't know, none of us know basically how that's going to pan out yet. So,
okay, so just nothing planned, but it's possible that later down the line you could do something.
Well, yeah. I mean, in a favorable situation, I would imagine that anything's possible. So, we'll have to play it by ear and see how it goes. But as for now, there are no immediate plans to tour.
Okay. Well, hopefully, yeah, because I'd love to see. I've never seen you live ever. The closest I came was when you came to Seattle when I lived there. You came with Slash's Snakepit, but you guys played Rock Candy, and I wasn't 21, so I just heard you do a rehearsal. I heard like backstage. I heard through the wall you guys doing, I think it was Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo, and it was awesome.
Yes, we covered that a couple of times. We had some interesting covers, actually. We did Acid Queen from The Who's Tommy.
Oh, I'm wearing a Who t-shirt right now.
Yeah. And I think we did Magic Carpet Ride. I'm not sure. Steppenwolf.
Yeah, I think I saw that on the set list on the internet. For what that's worth.
Yeah, we just used to cover things that we like, including when we did the acoustic tour. Slash and I, we would play a lot of Stones songs. Both being Stones fans. So
yeah, that's kind of a cool story, though. Like how you got that tryout for that gig. And I'm assuming that was a pretty coveted gig. Like, do you know how many people you beat out to get that job?
I never thought about it when I did it. I just did it. It was kind of a situation where everything kind of happened at once, and I was lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time, essentially. So I'd never thought about it. Just kind of went and did it.
Yeah, that's a great experience for you. And then I was curious about the songwriting. You wrote the lyrics for Beggars and Hangers On. That was like on the spot. And then it looks like you wrote like 10 of the 14 songs. Now, I was looking today and I saw this and I was like, this has to be a mistake. Is there a song, Summer City Ward? Is that co-written by Izzy Stradlin? He didn't sit in on a songwriting process with you. Is that a leftover riff or?
I think it's some kind of riff. I think it's some kind of musical contribution.
Okay.
And then, by the time I was involved with Snakepit, they already had the tracks really dialed in, and sounding great. You know, they were just waiting for a singer to come in. So, and then I appeared. And there you go.
Yeah. And I love the combination because Slash is like the bluesier, and then you kind of gave that band a little bit more of a modern sound. And then I think it's an underrated record, but you guys, it sounds like you had a lot of good memories from that band. You toured worldwide and you did that big show in Donington with Metallica, the biggest crowd you ever played. Do you prefer the big giant arenas like that, or do you like the smaller clubs?
I prefer all of it. Like, I'm never gonna shy away from anything, man. Like, if you put me in front of 150,000 people, you can be guaranteed that I'm going to give everything that I have. But Donington was an amazing experience. You know, obviously the biggest crowd I've ever played for. Clubs are cool too. It all just depends. You know, it's all music, and if you get a chance to perform it live for anyone, it's a good day, right?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of your other bands too. Jellyfish. I always heard about this band, and I was always curious, but I never had a chance to listen to them until more recently. But you guys had kind of a cult following during that 5-year existence, and do you agree with that? It sounds like, according to the internet, it says they had a cult following, but they struggled against prevailing rock trends, hair metal, and grunge. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think that Jellyfish was. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I was only involved in the band during the Spilt Milk record, which is the second record, and I didn't record any of the original records at all. I only came in on the touring aspect of the Spilt Milk record. But being involved with that, yeah, I would say that grunge probably killed everything at that point. And that's fine. It's just trends. I mean, Jellyfish flew in the face of a lot of that, and still with everyone that you know, is involved in the kind of family tree of everyone involved with Jellyfish. I mean, we're all trying to trying to do something a little bit different. So TLQ, Lickerish Quartet, and you know, explore different areas rather than what's a commercial slam dunk.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, I think other bands must have liked you. I don't know if you played with these shows, but you played, Jellyfish played with Deborah Harry and In Excess and Counting Crows and Tears for Fears. So, I mean, there was definitely respect among your peers. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm very flattered to this day that anyone remembers any of it. I mean, it you know, it really boils down to what Roger and Andy did during that era. They were the songwriters and arrangers, and they were able to pull a lot of people from, you know, having a big, gigantic record budget where you can afford the greatest players in the world that live in Los Angeles. There's so many orchestral players here, harp players. I mean, you can get anything you want, and they all do orchestral dates and record, you know, quite frequently. I think just having that budget to make that kind of sounding record, those days are, you know, I look back and think, wow, you know. I'm sorry, I'm blank.
It was definitely a heyday of music with the big budget records. That is, but at the same time, it's got to be easier you can record really good sounding stuff now in your basement if you want to. I mean, the stuff that people are putting out with hardly, you know, you don't need a giant recording studio to do it too.
No, you don't. Not with the right knowledge, and it doesn't take too terribly much, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rest takes talent. Just do it. Like I said, I mean,
you got so much that, I mean, all your bands, and then the other one I want to mention, Imperial Drag. That's such a good band too, and the song Zodiac Sign. Oh my God, I love that song. That's psychedelic, and it's melodic and so catchy. I'm like, Why isn't this song a huge hit? Do you ever think that about some of this stuff?
Well, of course, I'm always trying to aim as high as I can uh, for whatever we're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we were really into like Steppenwolf records back then. Strangely enough, just kind of like 1973 groove blues rock, if you will, I guess.
But it's so melodic too. I feel like it's more melodic than that kind of stuff than Steppenwolf even.
Well, I mean, we were doing our own trip on top of it with the melody.
Yeah.
For sure. We never like playing like or singing blues. We're kind of like more into melodies, like all melody driven, but having backdrops of some of that era, we were kind of going for at the time, because we got a big treasure trove of old guitar pedals, fuzz tones, and so yeah, we just wanted to try some of the pedals out, really, and that was kind of the impetus of writing the Imperial Drag stuff with Roger.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the songwriting is so strong and it holds up today too. I think that's a big piece of it for me, like being able to hear those songs and they stick in your head.
I think they do too. I'm more than proud of it. I just, and even the demos that are floating out there of the Imperial Drag stuff, it's all over YouTube and, wherever you can find them. But those are great memories too, because we recorded that, I think, on a Fostex 1/4-inch reel-to-reel or something, or maybe a 4-track. I don't remember. But I just remember all the gear, and it was in a rehearsal room in Ventura, California. It was like, it wasn't even a rehearsal room. It was a you store it place.
Oh, okay. So those demos that are floating, are those are unreleased songs, or those demos of the songs that are already released?
Some of them are already released.
Okay.
But a lot of demos out there.
A lot of bootlegs. Okay.
There are a ton of Imperial Drag demos and all that have never been released.
Oh, okay.
That was going to be for the second record.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that never came out because you joined Slash.
Never. No. That Slash was before Imperial Drag.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I must be. So, but you and Roger had the cameos in the Brady Bunch movie. Was that because somebody who had worked on the movie was a fan of Jellyfish and reached out to you, or how did that come about?
That was a friend of ours that said, "Hey, they're was it Norma Ephraim? I think."
Yeah.
The Brady Bunch. They were looking for people. It was at Taft High School in the Valley. They just needed people to fill in for the band that had a band name recognition or whatever.
Okay.
They could dress us in flannel or leather or whatever the fuck. And, we showed up and she goes, "Hey, you're going to be great. Yeah, here, go see wardrobe." And that's what we did. And we sat around in a classroom all day waiting for our call because the school was closed, obviously.
Oh, right.
And then I think I went and flirted with Jan in her chair, as she was sitting there. I had no sense of boundaries back then. Plus I climbed over the fence and went to the liquor store and bought a big bottle of vodka. I was so fucking bored.
That's what it sounds like working on movies. There's a lot of downtime.
Oh, so much. And so I was like chatting her up, going, "Hey, what are you doing, Jan?" And she was like looking at me, trying to stay in character, and I was trying to break her character, doing what I could. She was a professional, though. She didn't break her character one bit. So,
oh, that's awesome. So then, how do you get the gig for Alice Cooper? Was that a thing where you reached out to try out, or did somebody recommend you for that one?
That was probably Eric Singer and Ryan Roxy. Because I've known those guys since I've been in LA, basically. So that was kind of, we had a glam band that we used to play in Hollywood a lot called Glam Nation, which was a riot. It was the funniest thing in the world. And we would dress up in glam costumery. And each show had a particular theme.
Hmm.
I think some of those shows are floating around out there too. They're very fun. You know, we just play sweet songs and uh, just glam songs. You know, Samantha Hoople and we kind of just did that for fun. And then eventually, I got called in by Alice and Alice's people. Like, would you be interested in trying out? And I tried out, and I mean, Alice was aware of me already. So
Was he a
that
fan
led to
of
a
your
whole
past work,
thing.
Jellyfish and stuff?
Well, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you know, Alice is he's a pretty broad-minded guy. I mean, one of his favorite records is the Love record from 1969, like Forever Changes, I think, or the second one. I mean, you know, he's from that era. You know, it's a great era of music too.
Right. It's epic. For sure. And then, so it's interesting because then when you left, you had played in this band called Chinatown, I think, with Damon Johnson. And it's like, right? Is that, you're looking at me funny. Is that, or you knew
When I
Damon
left
Johnson?
where?
Damon Johnson, right?
Oh yeah, but when I left where?
When you left Alice, didn't you recommend Damon for the job?
Oh yes, yes I did.
Yeah, because you
Indeed, I
guys had
did.
had this relationship. Like, it's kind of one of those lessons where, like, don't burn any bridges, because you really like did him a favor by recommending him. That's pretty cool of you to kind of like, keep that friendship going after all those years.
Well, I try to do my best to keep in touch with all my music brothers and sisters, you know, and help them and support them any way that I can. And Damon, uh, I've known Damon since I was, you know, in the starting out beginning of my entire career. So we've been friends for a long time. And I couldn't think of anyone more worthy to do it because of the demands of the Alice Cooper material. It's actually a lot of demands if you want to perform it correctly, you know. And so I was very happy for him to fill in.
Yeah, that's really cool. And then the Sextus record, you guys had that debut, Stranger Than Fiction. Is that band still active, or was that just what's the story with that? What's the update on that?
Well, Sextus is still active. I'm working on a number of songs right now to release in the future, and we'll keep trudging along with that. The Lickerish Quartet has my responsibility right now because we're working on getting the 30p out. So
Okay.
as soon as we get that happening, you know, I'll do what I can. You know,
To get so you're still in both those bands. Is there anything else, or is it just mostly those two right now?
it's those two. Yeah,
Yeah.
I might be on sessions here and there for different people.
Mm.
I do a lot of session work as well. So, uh, you know, whether it's guitar or vocals or whatever.
Or songwriting? Do
And,
people reach out to co-write songs with you?
yes, a fair bit as well. So I've done a fair bit of that, and I just try to stay active with that and communicating with other musicians and uh, exploring whatever, you know, whatever seems to be cool.
Yeah, I mean, so back to the Licorice Quartet, though. I mean, this is so amazing. I love. It's like a Beatlesque sound, but it's also modern sounding at the same time. And yeah, I really hope you guys can play live, because I want to hear these songs played live. Like, but they sound amazing on record. Like the Lighthouse Spaceship song is so melodic, and it's large sounding, and it's an epic ride. I think that's how you put it. This uplifting quality. It's such a great tune.
Thank you, thank you. I really am happy with it. I mean, I can't say enough about the collaboration that we've done to this point. It's been old friends, music friends that have reconnected after many years, and I think the fruits of the labor have been, you know, astounding. Really, really, they've surprised me.
Yeah. How do you guys write songs? So it's you and Roger, and Andy's not in this because he was in Jellyfish, but he's just not interested or whatever. So it's you and Roger. How do you guys write the songs? Is it as a band, or one person brings something, or?
Well, it's not just Roger and I. It's
Right.
also Tim Smith.
Yes. Is there? It's just the three of you, or is there a fourth? Okay.
Yes. And the way that works really is we were fortunate enough to get in a room before all of this hullabaloo hit the world, and work out the songs. So we worked out the songs. Then we recorded the drums with Jeremy Stacy, that currently plays for King Crimson. He's currently on tour right now. So if you can, go check him out.
Okay.
And we were able to complete at least 2/3 of this collection of songs in the studio for the most part before all the hullabaloo hit, and then we're completing this last run separately, independently from our houses. But at this stage, it's pretty concise.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I look forward to that. The next one, because every song I've heard from that group has been amazing. I mean, really, every song, all these bands that you're in, there's not really a lot of any bad songs that I hear. Like every song is good and well thought out and melodic. And if people like that kind of music, I mean, clearly you guys are heavily influenced by the Beatles. But like I said, I also think there's a modern. You guys put your own touch on it.
Yeah, I mean, we're just essentially, we're just trying to promote different aesthetics in our sound, I think, at this point, for fun, and to experiment. I mean, if you're not experimenting when you make music, then what's the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this lineup of the three of us were able to challenge each other in a way that kind of pushes us, a bit. And I think that's awesome. And so, yeah.
Have you been getting a lot of good feedback from fans and other musicians and people that have heard it? Reviews? I don't know if critics, I don't know if you pay attention to
that. Well, I think so. I've heard good messages. I don't really pay attention to anything after I've done it, but you can go down that rabbit hole if you want. But I just feel like once it's done, it's done. So if somebody wants to judge it afterwards, that's their prerogative. It's not mine. I know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's great. And so if you do play live, you'll play guitar and sing you prefer that, right? Rather than singing or just playing guitar, you'll do both.
I like doing both. I grew up doing both. So I would rather be connected to the music while I sing. To me, that's the greatest joy.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. And I heard that you're a fan of Donnie V from Enough's Enough. I've had him on a couple times, and I think Roger played on his solo album. Are you going to ever do a collaboration with him? I think that'd be kind of cool to see what you guys could come up with.
Donnie V. I love Donnie, man. He's a good guy. We've never talked about it, but you never know how the universe turns. It's just a matter of when the time arises. When the timing is right, it's right.
Okay, fair enough. Or is there anybody on your bucket list that you want to collaborate with or you want to work with?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't even make a bucket list. I'm fortunate enough to be able to play with great musicians, so I'm a bit spoiled for that question, really.
Yeah, I mean Alice Cooper and Slash. I mean, and then all the bands that you've been in, the musicians you played with, you guys have made amazing music. So, yeah, it's definitely accomplished a lot already.
Well, without going into like gypsy swing or jazz of some sort, um, all my rock goals have been pretty well satisfied to this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would like to do more, of course, but timing and essence and intent and being real about it's what's important when you're making art too, or making music. And it's a time-consuming process. It's oftentimes very emotionally expensive. So, or you have a job, you have to do that too. You have to work on that. So you kind of balance that out and get it done to the best of your ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you ever do a solo record? Because then I think the cool thing about if you did a solo record is then you tour as a solo artist, and then you can play songs from your whole catalog, which is an amazing catalog with all these bands.
I've never really thought about that yet, but I'm sure there may come a point where I would be interested in exploring it. I think Sextus for me, for my own songs, is where I really like to reside and do my little experiments and whatnot. And then play with whoever, Lickerish Quartet being the primary project. And that ties my hands up.
Would you guys do in Sextus or Lickerish Quartet? Would you do songs from your other? Would you do an Imperial Drag song or Jellyfish song or anything?
We've talked about that, and we probably would if we ever played a live situation.
Okay.
And it just doesn't right now.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, but in the event that it ever did happen, we probably would jump around in a few eras and play some songs. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I really hope I can see you live at some point, even if I have to drive to LA or whatever, wherever you guys do a show, I'll try to make it. So, I appreciate you doing this. I do like to end each episode with a charity. I think you mentioned St. Jude's Children's Hospital. That's a great one.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of guests recommend that. So I will put that in the notes along with the Lickerish Quartet's website. Or do you have a personal Eric Dover website or no?
No, for right now, you should just follow me with the Lickerish Quartet because we have new music coming out soon. And I think everyone will be hopefully very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. So wait, did you say when exactly? Do we know? Do we have a date for when that comes out?
Well, right now we have a problem. Not just us, but the entire world has a problem with manufacturing vinyl.
Oh, really?
Because of the hullabaloo. So the hullabaloo is causing all these delays in receiving things like vinyl, particularly.
Okay.
We have something in the works overseas. I'm not at liberty to discuss it right now. But it's good, and it'll be an overseas release as well as a domestic, we're thinking.
Okay.
Which will be very cool. It'll be different. The overseas probably will be different. It'll have some extra tracks thrown in.
Oh, nice.
So.
Okay. Well, we'll look for that, and I'll follow you and keep up and hopefully see you live at some point. That'd be really cool. Yeah,
Chuck. Really enjoyed the talk, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Eric. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So Jan from Brady Bunch was 26 years old for the record when that movie was made. I was a little worried when he said he was hitting on Jan from Brady Bunch. I was like, oh, I don't know. But she was 26, so don't get all QAnon on us. That was a really funny story, and what a nice guy. Thank you to Eric for taking the time to do my show. Again, make sure to listen to the Lickerish Quartet. Check out their music. Follow them on social media to see what they're doing. And I really encourage you to go back and listen to some of Eric's past music that we mentioned, like Imperial Drag and Slash the Snakepit and the others. It's all great stuff. So if you want to support the show, your likes, shares, and comments on YouTube and social media mean a lot to me. And if you can, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm really trying to get that 1,000 subscribers, and I think we can get there. So thank you to all of you for your support of the show. Have a great rest of your day, and remember to shoot for the moon.